Life is a complex and fascinating story. For everyone, it unfolds differently, yet it always contains ordinary routines, as well as bright moments, joy and sorrow, successes and failures. Sometimes, life presents mysteries that defy explanation, especially if the soul is open to them. And then one day, a person may encounter something unknown, something beyond understanding. After that, the memory lingers for a long time. The heart beats faster. Thoughts return again and again to what happened. But life moves quickly. Daily routines take over, miracles fade from memory, and the heart calms down, like a spring pressed beneath a heavy stone. Yet if something similar happens, or a familiar word is heard, thoughts rush back into the past, and the heart begins to race again. Drop by drop, the spring of memories awakens. Not long ago, as I was turning the pages of my own life, I remembered strange and mysterious events that happened in my distant youth, on the shore of a quiet river backwater. It happened near the fast-flowing Colorado River, carrying its waters toward the Gulf of Mexico. Locals sometimes called it the Queen of the Southern Rivers. More often, however, it was described as wild and dangerous, which perfectly matched its nature. The riverbanks offered breathtaking views. On the left side stretched open meadows, bushes, and groves of maple, oak, poplar, ash, and mulberry trees. The steep right bank was covered with fragrant wild grasses. In some places, where the river formed calm backwaters, it was difficult to reach the water because of thick reeds and tall river plants. Along both banks, wide willow trees bent their flexible branches low over the water. The shores and riverbed were rocky, and only in the quiet backwaters was the bottom made of hard river sand mixed with pale clay. People had lived along this river since ancient times. My hometown stood on its bank, downstream from a small rural settlement known locally as Innocent Point, a place with an old and unsettling legend. It was the summer of 1969, a brutally hot summer. My 3 closest friends and I were 14 years old. After finishing 8th grade, during our summer vacation, we spent all our free time at the river. We swam far outside the town, near an abandoned pumping station. There was a small backwater there, where the water reached our necks in some spots. The banks were covered with thick reeds. Beyond the shallow area, the current became fast and dangerous. Fishermen avoided this place. Only tiny fish played in the shallows, while larger ones preferred deeper water. Swimmers also stayed away from the strong current. The riverbed hid deep pits, whirlpools, and massive boulders. Old locals said the many careless people had drowned there in past years. But for the 4 of us, the shallow water was more than enough. We swam until our lips turned blue, then climbed onto the shore, warming ourselves under the burning sun. We played cards, talked, and practiced self-defense moves. We also had a favorite game, holding our breath. One person would take a stone, show it to everyone, then throw it into the backwater. The diver had to find it underwater. We timed each attempt. Whoever found it fastest won. That day, it was my turn. I watched carefully where the stone splashed into the water. I took a deep breath, held it, and dove. Normally, I swam underwater with my eyes open. But that day, after spending so much time in the river, my eyes were irritated and painful. The water was murky too. Clay had risen from the bottom. So I dove with my eyes closed. I searched for a long time, but couldn't find the stone. My lungs were burning. Just as I was running out of air, my hand touched something. I squeezed it, and realized it wasn't a stone. It was a cold human hand holding my fingers. Startled, I yanked my hand back, opened my eyes, and saw a pale human figure swiftly turning and swimming past me. Terrified, I tried to scream, swallowed water, and burst to the surface. My first thought was that my friends were playing a prank, but then I heard them shouting from the shore. "So, did you find it? Show us." Coughing and gasping, I turned toward their voices. All three of them were standing there, exactly where they should be. So whoever was underwater, it wasn't one of them. Slowly, I walked out of the water, watching the reeds along the shore, expecting the prankster to surface once he ran out of air. But time passed. Too much time. No one appeared. Fear crept into my chest. Without saying a word to my friends, I grabbed my clothes and went home. On the way, I kept replaying what had happened. There was no doubt I had seen a human body, alive, not a drowned corpse. But who it was, I still don't know. That evening, I told my grandfather everything. "So," he said with a quiet smile, "she must have liked you if she reached out her hand." Who is she?" I asked, my voice shaking. "The innocent girl," he replied. "The one who threw herself into the river after being forced to marry a man she didn't love. That's how this place got its name, Innocent Point. God does not take such souls. They remain here, unable to find peace." There was another version of the legend. Some said the name came from 70 innocent women, elderly people, and children who were captured and killed long ago. Since then, whenever I visit a church, I light a candle for the souls of those innocent girls who became victims of our cruel world. After that conversation, despite the fear, I secretly hoped to meet the innocent girl again. Every time we returned to the backwater, I searched the water with my eyes, watching the reeds. But the next meeting was not with her. 2 weeks later, the four of us were swimming again, just like always. The sun was sinking toward the horizon. Dusk was approaching. We needed to head back to town. We gathered our clothes and went into the riverside thicket, a dense grove of willows and vines, to wring out our swimwear. That's when we saw it. A horrifying black creature stood openly watching us. It was near the trunk of an old willow on the riverside, about 60 feet away. The creature stood on 2 legs. The setting sun was behind it, so its face, or rather, its muzzle, was hidden in shadow. But its fur was clearly visible, outlined by the sunlight. No one thought to speak. No one thought to call out. We knew everyone in the area. This was not a human being. Waves of pure malice seemed to roll off it. Its body leaned toward us like a runner at the starting line. One more second, and it felt like it would charge. A chill ran down my spine. The hair on my head stood on end. The only thought in my mind was, run. Judging by their faces, my friends felt the same. Overwhelmed by blind terror, we bolted, like deer fleeing a predator. We ran without stopping, bare feet smashing against stones, not even noticing the pain. Only near the town did we realize we were completely naked, holding our swim trunks in our hands. I don't know why, but all of us knew one thing for certain. What we saw that evening was the devil himself.